All right, what's up, boys and girls? Back with another NASCAR Cup Series free pick for Sunday's race at Homestead. It is, what is it, the Dixie Vodka 400. All right, let me pull the odds up. So we got the chicken in last week's video with Chase Elliott to win stage one at plus 175. And we're going to try to do it again. So for those who are not familiar with the sport, you could basically throw away everything that you just witnessed the last couple weeks at Daytona because those races really don't make up the majority of the Cup Series circuit, right? So to recap, let's see, what did we learn the last couple weeks? We learned that 90% of winning a plate race on a super speedway is total luck. Michael McDowell gets the chicken there at 70-1. And we also learned that just because you're the king of the road courses and you have the best car on the track like Chase Elliott, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to win the race, right? So let's throw everything that we saw the last couple weeks out the window. The real kings of the sport are determined on the ovals, the cookie cutter oval tracks on the Cup Series. They range from anywhere from a half mile, like tracks like Bristol and Martinsville, to all the way up to 2 miles. And that's where you really see the big four thrive. Who are the big four? The big four consists of Kevin Harvick, Martin Truex Jr., Denny Hamlin, and Kyle Busch, right? So you might notice that last year's NASCAR champion, Chase Elliott, isn't in the big four. Why do I say that? Because even though he won the chip last year, he still has a lot to prove on the ovals, really, in my opinion. But last year he did go a long way in proving that he belongs in the realm of the big four. He's on his way to the big five, but not yet for me anyway. So the reason why I say that really, honestly, is because the NASCAR playoffs and how they structured it is so convoluted that oftentimes the best driver of the year doesn't win the championship. The two best drivers last year were Denny Hamlin and Kevin Harvick. And it's pretty undisputed that they were the two best drivers all year. None of them won the championship because they didn't win certain races on certain dates. But overall, they were the two most dominant drivers on the track all year long. So moving forward on these ovals, you really have to keep your eye on Kevin Harvick, Martin Truex Jr., Kyle Busch, and Denny Hamlin to see if they have it like they do every year on these cookie cutter tracks. So let's talk about this weekend. COVID has left a lasting effect on the NASCAR Cup Series, and it's a big one. Normally, every track that you go to, you have qualifying laps, you have practice sessions where you can figure out like what your 20 and 30 consecutive lap average times are. So you have a ton of information going into the race. But because of COVID and the restrictions with social distancing and all that, there are only going to be 8 races that will have full qualifying, full practice sessions, and Homestead is unfortunately not one of those tracks. Okay. And that's pretty much the reason why I do the majority of my betting in this new NASCAR with COVID rules. The majority of my betting is live when I can see the real-time data coming in and I can determine what cars are the class of the field and what cars aren't worth betting on. So unfortunately, like I said, in this race, all we can really go on is what these race teams have done in prior years. Aside from that, we really don't have much until the green flag drops. So we'll start there. Who won last year's race in Homestead? Denny Hamlin won. It was Denny's best position since he won the race back in 2013. But the only thing you can count on when Denny's at the track is he's going to finish in the top 10. 7 out of the last 8 years, Denny has finished in the top 10 here. But only 2 of the last 8 years has he finished in the top 5. And both times that he did finish in the top 5, he won the race last year and 2013. So, Denny is strong here. Kevin Harvick also really excels at this track. Since 2014, he has finished first, second, third, fourth, and 26th. So you got to throw out last year where he finished 26th. He had some issues throughout the race. But aside from that outlier, you could basically set your watch to Kevin Harvick finishing somewhere in the top 5 at Homestead. So he's another car that you're going to be able to rely on even though you don't have practice sessions. Another one of the big 4, Martin Truex Jr., he has finished no worse than second place 3 of the last 4 years. He's finished first, second, and 12th. So Marty's going to be strong here. And then obviously last, Kyle Busch. He comes in off a really disappointing year last year. He looked horrible. He looked like the driver that was most affected by not having practice sessions, not having qualifying laps last year. And he's going to look to rebound strong. He won the Clash in the first race of the year. But specifically on ovals, he's been really good for a lot of years. And Homestead is no different. Kyle's won this race twice in the last 5 years. And he has finished no worse than 6th in 6 years straight. So all we have to go on, like I said, as far as data, is previous outcomes. Kyle Busch class. 6 straight top 6s, and he's won 2 of the last 5. So we know the big 4 are really strong here, right? Realistically, though, I think that there are 8 drivers personally that could win Sunday's race. I think there are 3 Chevy cars in Chase Elliott, Kyle Larson, and a young kid in Tyler Reddick, who I think are live from Chevy. I think you got 2 Fords that can win this race in Kevin Harvick and Joey Logano. And then I think the big 3 at Joe Gibbs in Toyotas can all win the race. Denny, Kyle Busch, and Martin Truex. Will I be betting any of these guys to win the race pre-race? No, I won't. All my outright betting will be done live in terms of who I bet to win the race. But bets that I think are viable, like pre-race, top cars by manufacturer bets, like I said, I think the 2 top Fords are going to be Kevin Harvick and Joey Logano. Well, Harvick is plus 175 to be the top Ford. Joey Logano plus 350 to be the top Ford. I think they're viable there. Like I just said, 3 Chevys I thought could win the race. So top Chevy in the race, Chase Elliott's live, plus 175. Kyle Larson's live at plus 275. And even Tyler Reddick to be the top Chevy at plus 800, I think might be worth a little stab. And then obviously, like I just said, top Toyotas. The odds on Denny Hamlin are too short. Plus 130 to be the top Toyota, I'm not interested. But Martin Truex Jr. at plus 215 to be the top Toyota, I think is an interesting look. And Kyle Busch to be the top Toyota at plus 250, I also think is an interesting look. I also think that drivers with a track record of top 5 finishes at this track will be somewhat reliable pre-race bets. And that's probably where our free pick is going to be this week. I'm going to go with Kyle Busch here to finish in the top 5 on Sunday at plus 150. Why? Because he's been so reliable here for so long that I'm really not sure what changes here. Do I have anything against you guys betting like Harvick, Truex, Elliott, Hamlin to finish in the top 5? No, not really, because I think that they're probably all reliable, that you could take shots on to finish in the top 5. Maybe my subscribers might get a couple of those. But for the purposes of the video, I'm going to take the best price to finish in the top 5. And the best price to finish in the top 5 is Kyle Busch at plus 150. He's basically done it here, Rowdy, for the last 7 years. And I don't see why he can't do it again. He got a little momentum from the Busch Clash. He's looked solid to start the year at plus 150 based on everything that he's done in this track the last 7 years. I think it's a good price and worth taking a shot. So that's it, boys. Oh, one more thing. Bonus play. Tyler Reddick, top 5 at plus 300. He only raced here one time on the Cup Series. That was last year. He finished 4th here. And he's had some really good success at this track in general, especially on the Xfinity Series. Sometimes drivers, they feel more comfortable on certain tracks. I don't know why. Clearly, Tyler Reddick's driving style is rock solid for Homestead. So, plus 300 is not a bad price to sneak into the top 5. So, we'll go with Kyle Busch, top 5, plus 150. Little sprinkle on Tyler Reddick to sneak into the top 5 at plus 300. Plus, I just went through all those top cars by manufacturer, Chevy, Ford, Toyota. I think all those looks are viable options pre-race. All my outright betting is going to be done live. You guys know that. If you watched last week, your boy cashes the 50-1 ticket on Chris Bell live to win that Daytona road course. So we'll try to do it again on Sunday. I'll be live. I think the race starts at 2:30. Whatever time the race starts, I'll be on an hour before, breaking it down. I'll be on throughout the whole race like normal. And we'll do a ton of live betting like we normally do. Aside from that, good luck on your wagers. And let that action run pure, boys. I'll see you guys this weekend. Later.